did you
Jeez, I do not know what's going on. Why am I having these latency issues? So bizarre. Anyway, welcome to the stream. My name is Adam Cray, and I discuss politics in a way that you don't see from most creators. I try and make you laugh. I try and educate. I try and have conversations to convince Trump supporters not to be Trump supporters anymore, Republicans not to be Republicans anymore, and people who generally exist on the right side of the political spectrum not to exist on the right side of the political spectrum, because it goes absolutely nowhere. Be on the side of human rights. Today, we're going to try and talk to some Trump supporters if I don't continue to have latency issues at 908-652-3703. Please subscribe now. Sheffy, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you kicking it off. Gumball, what's up? CCP, Christopher, not that Dana, Freddie, Fletcher Sketch, not another one. Ivy, Josephus, Betty, Star Rider. Do you guys like it better when I set it to people have to actually click subscribe to watch? So we don't get like the troll that comes in, types one thing, and then scrolls on. Like, you have to subscribe if you want to type. You don't have to be subscribed for any length of time, but you have to subscribe. That's what you have to do. What's going on? No, I didn't get it, Jenster. I didn't have a chance to get it yet. To be honest, I'm like way behind. I have to go shopping this weekend. I've done no shopping. I have to get a green screen behind me, so clearly I do not have this issue, which I've been having lately for some bizarre reason. No idea why, but it keeps happening over and over, so I need to get that. There's like a bunch of things that I need to get. I'm way, way behind. I'm like, yeah, I have to, yeah. Yeah, it eliminates the trolls. Oh, what? I don't know what that is, why it does this. Anyway, if you are a Trump supporter, you know, and you like Donald, if there's some reason you still support this administration, which, God, I don't know how you could still support this administration at this point, ladies and gentlemen. It seems nearly impossible to find legitimate reasons to support Trump anymore, but you know they'll do it. You know that's what they do. You know that's what they do. We do have some news today. Protesters took to the streets across Iran. That guy was talking about that the other day. No fear of overthrowing the administration, but there's protests across. Zohran Mamdani kind of doubles down on his agenda. Republicans have been freaking out. And this is one thing I want to discuss. Republicans are losing their freaking mind because Mamdani took the oath of office on a Quran. And they are out of their minds, folks. They are out of their minds because of this. They need a, you know, I don't want to get too much into it because if a Trump supporter's mad about it, I don't want them to know what I'm going to say. But Disco D, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you. Would appreciate trying to complete the gifting goal, everybody. But Republicans are out of their mind right now because Zohran Mamdani took the oath of office on a Quran. They need a history lesson, ladies and gentlemen. Something everyone in here should know, if you don't know, is Thomas Jefferson owned a Quran. It's not the first time. Members of Congress have used the Quran. You can use a coloring book. It does not matter. You don't have to use a Bible. Freedom of religion is so important, and just because you're whether you're a Christian or you believe in Islam, whatever the case is, you're Muslim, your religion doesn't have anything to do with your ability to govern and shouldn't influence your ability to govern because we have a wall of separation of church and state. Okay? So Mamdani can be Muslim and not believe in Sharia law as a governing principle. It's that simple. It's literally that simple. This is not a complex thing to understand. I'm not sure why people get so upset over Mamdani and just Islam in general. Like, you're so incredibly Islamophobic, and we know exactly why. Like, this country did a really good job after 9/11 convincing people that all Muslim people were bad. How else could you justify unaliving a million plus Iraqi civilians, for instance? So another piece of news is Russia has filed a diplomatic request asking the United States to stop pursuing that oil tanker. Yes, the oil tanker the United States has been pursuing near Venezuela. They put a Russian flag on the side of it to try and send a message of support from Russia. And now they have filed a request to stop pursuing it. Please stop pursuing the tanker. Just somewhat interesting. I mean, we have the active negotiations going on with Zelensky and Trump and Putin and all this. We'll see how this comes into play here. Russia still has not accepted any agreement. The sticking points, again, they remain Donbass region and security assurances. So that's where we are there. And I think that's pretty much it. Was there anything else? I don't think there was much else in the way of news anyway. Mamdani, the Russian oil tanker, protests in Iran. I thought there might have been one more thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. Alicia says Trump didn't even touch the Bible. Yes, he didn't. Disco, what's going on? Richard, what are you doing? Yeah, they really want us to be a Christian nationalist country. Oh, my God. It's not even, this is just, they'd be sad to know that Thomas Jefferson not only owned a Quran, but studied a Quran. I saw that clip. Yeah, I saw that clip. Yeah, guys, hit the thumbs up button. Would appreciate it. Let's see if we can get some folks in here. If you are a Trump supporter, call in 908-652-3703.
Call from.
Yeah, why are you calling from an unknown number, dude?
Dicks in your mouth, cracker.
Wow,
white
that's
monkey.
really weird. Is that really what you're thinking about? We're talking about politics and you're thinking about my you-know-what? In your what? Man, could they tell on themselves any more, folks? Could they tell on themselves any more? If you're a Trump supporter and you wanted to have a conversation, call in.
Call from.
Thomas.
Thomas, how old are you?
Thomas, how old? I'm 20.
Thomas, you're not 20.
Yeah?
You're not 20, bro. Listen,
It's so funny. I'm looking at my ID right now. It says I'm 20.
You're not 20, Thomas. What year were you born?
So, I was born 2005.
There you go. If that guy is 20, then I'm a millionaire. Oh my God, that's a child, dude. See, it's funny because these kids don't realize how high-pitched their voice is. Guys, look at this can't stop smiling chat guy in chat wrote, the caller sounds older than the host. Look how he spelled collar. Oh my God. Oh my God. Why don't you call in, can't stop smiling? I guarantee you're a boomy. I guarantee. Can you call in? I guarantee you're old enough, can't stop smiling. Can you call in, please? I'd love to have a little chit chat with you. I really would. Are you scared of liberals? You're not scared of liberals, are you? Call in right now. Listen, I know it's hard to support Donald Trump at this point. I understand it's difficult. Well, I'm sure you couldn't, can't stop smiling. I'm sure you couldn't. I mean, caller is a tough word for you. So I imagine you have difficult telling the difference between a lot of things. right? I imagine you have you have trouble telling the difference between quite a bit. He thinks that's hurting my feelings. Why is everyone coming after? Well, because that's what they do, right? That's their attempt to deflect. So they're talking about fraud in Minnesota, which, by the way, Nick Shirley is in big trouble. Big trouble. So, good luck with that. Good luck with that, Nick Shirley. That's why you don't make accusations when you don't have proof that you can support it. Proof to support it. You end up getting a lawsuit. Look, guys, right? I would love to call him. I'll call him right now, genius. You're talking to him. Why are you referring to me as I'll call him? You mean I'll call you? Call me right now. Let's go. Call right now. We're waiting for your call, buddy. We want to hear from you, buddy. Let's do it. Come on. Call in right now. 210 Rain Christopher, thank you for the $19.99 super chat, and MAGA letting their bedroom frustrations out on you is weird. It is weird, isn't it? And I mean, I'm cool with it, I guess. If you send a super chat, you got to send a super
Call
chat.
from
Stacy, can't.
Yeah, is that you in the chat?
You bet, buddy boy.
Dude, we were laughing at your spelling, and it's so funny.
I know I'm using the voice activation.
I
Of course,
know.
it's going to be misspelled.
That's what they
genius.
always say. I know. Well, can I? Okay, let me ask you a question then. Can I ask you how to spell something for me?
Sure.
Are you good at spelling?
Yeah, I can spell dummy. That's you. Come on, man.
Can you go ahead spell it? Spell it. I want you to spell dummy.
Like
for me.
Iranian.
Spell dummy
Okay.
for me.
Dummy. DUMMIE. Or why? I can't remember. He fell for it.
Oh, but yeah, I fell for it. Yeah.
Can you answer the question?
I fell for it.
Seriously, hold on.
Yeah.
Answer the one question. Answer the one question. Just seriously, of the Iranian uprising, do you support the Iranian people or do you support the Islamic political regime?
I support the Iranian people.
Okay, excellent. Do you know why and you know this, I know, but I'll just hear you say it. The Iranian regime is made up of mostly Arabs, and of course, the Iranian people are mostly Persian. They don't even speak Arabic.
Yeah,
the PLO was running. I'm sorry. The PLO
Are you making a point here, or is this just? Well,
yeah. I'm there. I'm at the point. Here's the point. The PLO was the leader of the Palestinian people, and they and some communists overthrew the Iranian Western. Very.
I don't need a fucking
country.
geopolitical history lesson from you. Just tell me your point.
Okay, here's the point. You back the Palestinian people and say they're separate from Hamas, but they're not. And they've had a history of always having like the PLO or somebody like that, and they overthrew.
From Hamas.
And the Iranian people hate the Palestinians.
When have I ever said I backed them from against Hamas? You mean from Israel?
No, you said they're part of Hamas. Not bad. How do you feel about the uprising? You told me that's great.
It is what it is. I don't think they're going to end up in power if that's what you're asking me.
I do.
Okay, good luck with that. Didn't I debate you the other day?
But
Didn't I debate you the other day? Oh, I cooked this,
yes,
dude.
I whooped your ass. Yes.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I got you. You were telling me diplomacy worked and that.
Hold on, guys.
You know
guys, this is the guy who said, this is the guy he just said he cooked my ass. Guys, listen, this is the guy who didn't think Trump is a convicted.
Yeah, I did.
Is Trump a convicted felon?
Okay.
Watch this, guys. Is Trump a convicted felon
Convicted felon? What?
Remember, you're the guy that was saying Trump isn't a convicted felon. That's you.
Right, he's not. No, he's not. But you're the guy that said...
He's still arguing. So wait, Trump's not a convicted felon. This is what
said. But I get to say what you said. Hold on, I get to say what you said. You said that the Iranians that they let the inspectors come in, and that's the biggest fucking joke because everybody knows they got the records. They never let the inspectors come in.
Is Trump a convicted? Is Trump a convicted felon? Yes or no?
According to you, no. Yes.
I'm asking you, is he or not?
Is he your president?
not what I asked you. I just want you to admit if you're wrong or not. Is he a
We
convicted
can both say
felon?
yes, can't we?
Guy, you're.
If you say yes to that, if you
this
say
guy-
he's your president, then I'll say yes to the
No,
felony.
he's not my president.
Yeah.
That's
Okay, well then, no,
is
he's
he a
not
convicted?
felon.
Wait. We have you recorded arguing. You tried to claim that an unconditional discharge means that it vacates the conviction. You have no idea what you're talking
No, it means that he never passed sentence. I told you that. He never passed
It
sentence.
is
That
a
was
sentence.
That was the intellectual lazy.
Guy, an
The judge
unconditional
intellectually lazy got out of the whole
excuse
thing.
me, an unconditional discharge is a sentence.
No, it's not. But if you'll admit that Trump's your president, then I'll admit that he's a felon. Can you do it?
No, I don't need to. He's the
Okay,
president
then
of the
there you
United
go.
States.
Just admit he's your president.
He's the president
He's
of the
your
United
president.
Guy, you lost the debate.
He's your
You
state.
don't know
You
what
know, if you say he's your
guys, real
president,
quick,
then I'll
all
say
you
he's
have
a
to
felon.
do, this is what this guy does. That's why you
All
can't
you have
talk
to
to him.
do is
All
come on,
he
man.
does is
You're bigger than this.
Guys,
You're better
all
than
he
this.
does is steamroll. No, because you're one of these guys that doesn't realize that you're not smarter than someone. You can't admit it.
You and I had a 40-minute conversation.
And you lost.
No, I listened to you for over 40 minutes. I didn't
Yeah,
interrupt
and you got stupid at the end.
you. No, I didn't. I
Okay,
laughed.
so guys, really quick, why don't you
No,
look?
you got stupid.
Guys, real quick, look up at the end. Is an unconditional discharge a sentence? Look it up. Just look up. Don't believe me or him. Just
you know what?
do
I'm going to
your-
make it easy. Look,
No,
look.
I'm going to
Just
mute
to
you
get
if
you
you don't.
past
If
this.
you
Just to
talk
get you
over me
past this.
again. If you
He's
talk.
a felon.
If you
He's
talk.
also your
if you talk
president.
over
He's
me
your
again.
president.
If you talk over me again,
Is Trump your president?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to talk. If you talk
No,
over me again,
I'm
gonna
not.
say, goodbye. There's your options. Stop talking when I'm talking. Let me explain to everybody in here. Never in a million years should you believe me or the caller when I have a debate, but I encourage you to go look up the stuff yourself. Couple things from this guy. Is an unconditional discharge an actual sentence? Yes. The answer is yes, it is. Okay?
Call from
Is Trump
I
a
can't
convicted
stop.
felon? Yes, he is. Are you just
You
going to
don't
keep...
have to be scared.
You
Quit being
don't.
scared.
You don't talk over me. You understand? You shut up
I'm
when
not.
I'm talking. You
shut
don't
up. You
talk
don't. I'm
over
going
me.
to shut up, little boy. Listen, little boy.
Do you live
Don't make me.
alone?
Don't make me.
And no.
Don't make
you
me.
won't
Don't
accept.
make me.
You
Are you gonna
won't.
quit being
Shut
scared?
up! Stop talking.
Go ahead.
You won't.
Go ahead.
Oh my God! Imagine arguing with this guy. Like imagine living with him. And
Imagine arguing with you when you don't have a mute button. You're not that
As
big,
a-
are you?
Guy, I'm embarrassing you right now. You don't think an
No,
unconditional
you're
di-
fat.
You don't
Your
think an-
body, yeah, I don't want to body
You
shame but
don't
you're
think
fat.
an unconditional
Fat people are
discharge.
mean.
Can you
Fat people are
shut
mean like
up,
you.
you old fucking man?
If you'll lose,
Stop talking. I'll just put you on silent. It's that easy. An unconditional discharge is a type of sentence that doesn't involve fines, doesn't involve any kind of jail time, doesn't do anything. You're just not a smart guy. Like I can hear the missing chompers. I can hear them through your speech. You're an elderly man who's close to the mantle, and you're upset about it. Listen, not much time left. Don't spend it being a fool. You don't have much time left. Listen, don't use the word intellectual. Don't use the word intellectual. You're not allowed to speak. You're an older man. You don't know very much. Guys, by the way, just look it up. Is an unconditional discharge a sentence? And you'll see how foolish this old man is. He's got to be 70 plus years old and acts like a child. You can tell he's not, he's not long for this world. Imagine that many years on earth and you're still a know-it-all of nothing. That's shameful. He's trying to call in
Call
again. We're
from
not answering you
Sarah.
anymore. You're done. Yeah, are you a Trump
To
supporter?
accept, press 1. To send a voicemail,
This sounds like a
press 2.
fucking child, too. Are you a Trump supporter?
No,
Okay, well, I'm looking for Trump supporters. What's up?
I just wanted to say you get a lot of people from the South calling, and I just wanted to say that we're not all like that. I'm so sorry.
Well,
I watch your live pretty often.
I thought you were a child calling. I thought you were a teenage boy calling in, but okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I'm getting close to my 40s.
Yeah, I've had a lot of kids lately. Yeah, listen, it's not even just the people in the South. They're unfortunately all over the fucking country. You know, but yes, I do get a lot of those.
Yeah, this past Thanksgiving dinner, most of my family are Trump supporters, but they were very quiet at Thanksgiving this year.
Do you know why?
I have a good feeling. I kind of wanted to stir something up, but we had a lot of kids around, so I didn't want to try to start a fire.
Because he's in the files. That's why they weren't saying anything.
That's exactly why they weren't saying anything.
Yeah, well,
it was stone silent.
Here's the thing. They're kind of like, you have the obnoxious ones, and they'll do it online, but in person, they've been kind of laying low, because they don't want that label attached to them. If it, they don't care if the
they don't want to hear the facts. Is what the issue
they don't
is.
even care about the facts. They just if they don't win the fight in terms of like the fight on information, like they do sometimes, there'll be things Trump is guilty of, and they'll be able to win just by flooding the market with so much misinformation that people stop believing the truth, like Russiagate or any of these other. There's a million examples of this. And in this case, they're kind of waiting for the escape plan. Will Trump be able to maneuver his way out of this or not? They don't actually care about the facts, because if they cared about the facts, they would abandon all support for him. You know what I mean?
Oh, exactly. They're just hoping that there's some way he can get around it so they could still say they're happy to support him.
Correct. Yes.
Exactly. But I'm not going to waste your time. Thank you so much. I'm going to go back to watching your live.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Yeah, it's talking to them is painful. But again, all they would have to do, like that last guy, all he would have to do is take 5 seconds and look it up. But he won't do that, will he? So just remember this before you go to bed tonight. You are wrong, and everyone watched you embarrass yourself. That must suck. He's in the middle of making another account right now. I'm going to make another account and go in there and try and say something egregious so I feel like I won in some way. Leland's literally following me, and he's talking about getting Trump. Leland, you're following me. Are you going to call Lenad? Hey, Nads, are you going to call Nads? Nads in the chat. Can you please call? Right, stop yapping. Just call, Nads. I'm going to call you Nads for short. You cool with that nickname? I'm going to call you Nads. Seems like a good nickname. Nads. You're in Australia? Oh, my God. You said I'm not calling in. You're not allowed to call in. You don't go here. Mind your own business. And we'll mind ours. Thank you. Just silence that lean ads person. You can't. You're not even one of us. Stop talking. You don't live in the United States. You're immediately fucking muted. You're done. We have no interest. Why are you even talking to me? I love how like an Australian thinks they're going to come and butt in a conversation that we're having here. Abso-freaking-lutely not. You better stick to Australia. Don't worry about what we're doing. It's none of your business. Mind your own business. Stop engaging in our politics. Leave us alone. We don't want you interested in our politics. Nobody does. Mind your own business. You're not even allowed to engage in this conversation. What's going on? It's like Canadian maggots. Yep. We only accept people that don't like Trump from other countries. We let them engage, but that's it. If you don't like Trump, you can engage. But you're seeing it dwindle, It's like it's starting to dwindle, like their support is slowly going out the window, little by little. You
Call
know?
from
Marshall.
Yes. Are you a Trump supporter?
Sometimes, yeah.
What? Why are
I'm
you
just
guys
curious,
doing
bro.
this?
So
That's not a
why?
thing.
I'm curious, bro. Why you think that they haven't released Epstein files? You think it's
I
just
know
because there's
why.
too many people in it?
No, I know why. Because,
Why?
well, the Department of Justice, right, is under what branch of government?
You said what?
The Department of Justice is
The
under what
judiciary?
branch of government?
Or the judiciary?
No. The Department of Justice is under the executive branch of government, okay? The Deputy Attorney General is who?
I don't know, man.
Okay, Todd Blanche. That was Trump's personal attorney. They're working to keep it away from the American people because he's in them. We've seen that already. I have some up on the screen right here. I have some examples right here. Right? The
What
Lake
you said
Michigan.
that his name was?
Sorry, go ahead.
You said what was that guy's name?
Todd Blanche. He's the deputy AG. He's the deputy AG.
So you think that like he has some type of special interest in Epstein files, and that's the reason he's the biggest proponent of why they're not releasing it?
Yes, I think he's one of. Trump is the biggest reason, but yeah, he's one. I mean, it can give you a million different reasons, right? Sitting down with Ghislaine Maxwell, right? And then giving her special treatment and transferring her to a minimum security prison in Camp Bryan, Texas, trying to convince Republicans not to sign on to the discharge petition, calling it a hoax. But the point is, modern day, what's happening right now is the Department of Justice is actively obstructing justice. You do realize they're breaking the law right now, right?
No, enlighten me on that.
So the Epstein Transparency Act was passed through Congress, understand? Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So it's a law.
Yes.
It was a law. It was passed through the House, through the Senate. The president signed it. So it's passed into law, right? And it said by the 19th, all non-exempt files related to Epstein need to be released. They didn't do that, which means they are in violation of the law. Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche are actively obstructing justice and interfering with that procedure. And they're doing that because Donald Trump is in them. They don't want him to get a hold of them. They don't want him to get in trouble. They don't want him to be embarrassed. Whatever the case is, it's clear that the relationship extends beyond what he previously disclosed publicly. So it doesn't really matter at this point. What we do know is there's some really disturbing information we've gotten in there already about Trump engaging in stuff like this. Now, can we take one piece of evidence and say this is absolute proof? No, but it is proof that the rest of the files need to be released. And the Department of Justice has not been super cooperative during that process.
Wow, very informative, man. So, I guess to beginning of our call, you asked me why I'm a Trump supporter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why?
And then you said, why do we always do that whenever I said, like, I'm kind of on the fence about it? It's just because, like, I realized that, like, all the reasons that, like, I guess I've liked living under his presidency just all for selfish reasons.
Okay. Like, why?
You know,
why?
I'm
why
not
do
necessarily
you?
saying like
Why do you generally consider yourself a Trump supporter? Like, what's the main thing? This is how I like to target these conversations. What is the number one thing where you're like, this is typically why I support Trump, right? Because he's willing to address this, and this is what he's done to address this.
Well, you know, honestly, all the things that he said that I really support, he either hasn't done a great job of, or, you know, like for
Like what?
example, deporting illegal immigrants. Like, there's most of the people that, like, they claim that, like, he's deported like 2.5 million people, but most of those people, like, self-deported. He's only deported like 600,000 or something like that, like, actually people that got quote unquote picked up by, you know, Border Patrol or
Why
ICE
is
or
that?
whatnot. And so it just like has such a low impact, and I just don't understand like why. That was like one of the biggest things. He was jumping up and down, screaming about how there was 20 million people that just flooded our country, but he's only like been responsible for like 500,000 of them. Maybe 750,000 of them now. Actually getting them out of the country.
Why is that
like,
something you thought was necessary, though? Let's break that down. Why specifically is it important to remove undocumented people from the country? You understand it costs billions of dollars to do this. So what specifically justifies doing that? What are they doing where you're like, this needs to happen?
So the vast majority of them coming in under the Biden administration, right? I feel like that those people come in here, and these are human beings. I'm trying to be respectful and stuff like that. I understand that they have their reasons for coming here, et cetera, whatever. But my point is the Biden administration brought them here, and supposedly, it's not even really supposedly. I mean, some of it seems like fraudulent, large amounts of money that was given to them, or like benefits and stuff like that. But I personally know a lot of them that have come here. I live in Kentucky, so there's a lot of horse farms and stuff around here that they work at, And
okay, well that's not true. That most of them came.
Basically get like a free ride. I'm not saying it's most of them, but at the end of the day, 12 to 20 million people come into the country through democratic leadership.
That's not
I
true.
don't want that. 20 million people would. 20 million people would coming into the country, undocumented or not, bro. They're gonna sway elections for the next 20 years, because how the hell even if only like half of those people voted, Democrat, or whatever I feel like that they would typically swing to, like these democratic socialists and stuff like that really believe in like this government handout money and stuff like that. So I just think that would sway elections for a really long time if we were to grant that large amount of people citizenship. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be here, but
so let's start with the
completely unregulated.
Hold on, dude. Let's start with the first most important fact. The first most important fact is undocumented immigrants don't vote. So how are they swaying elections?
Because they can't, because they don't have citizenship.
Right. So they're not participating.
But my point is they plan to give. Yeah, but Democratic Socialists and Democrats would, if given the ability to, would totally grant citizenship to all of those people. Would you agree, or would you not agree with that?
No, you don't automatically.
I feel like that they would. They would. I'm not saying they would automatically do it. I'm just saying through the channels of the law, they would try their hardest to grant citizenship to these people. I just feel like, it's not like a terrible thing. It's, it's just that under those pretenses.
So what some people on the left advocate for is mass amnesty. That's not the same as granting citizenship. Okay?
Okay, what would be the difference?
Because amnesty doesn't automatically grant you citizenship, right? It allows
but
people
it's a pathway to citizenship.
No. It simply temporarily grants them legal status, so that way you can live and work here without fear of being deported, right? Citizenship obviously would grant you full rights like voting, and they can then apply for citizenship and go through that process, but it does not grant you citizenship. Granting citizenship and granting amnesty are two entirely different things. Amnesty affects work authorization and deportation protection, right? But it doesn't give you voting rights. There are not Democrats advocating for automatically granting citizenship. There's not a single person doing that. They're talking about amnesty. That does not include voting rights or any benefits that a citizen gets, really, right?
Okay, so I mean, we could go down like a total rabbit hole.
People typically who are on like amnesty programs are for years and years and years and years before they get legal residency. And it's not even automatic. You have to qualify, right? And there's delays and all sorts of things. We've done this before, so it wouldn't be the first time.
Okay. So I'm.
And can I just
those
say
are
my
all fair
second part
points.
really
And
quick?
on the-
My second part really for
Go ahead.
Republicans to understand, because I hear this talking point all the time, is maybe if Republican policies weren't shit and actually addressed, like, you know, the wealth gap, right? Actually addressed poverty and healthcare and housing and food shortages and education and things like that, then maybe they wouldn't have to fear new citizens who typically are in the lower class to vote Democrat, right? Like typically poor. What you're really saying is people who are poorer, people who are more poor, are likely to vote for the party that addresses their basic human rights. Maybe Republicans should start addressing people's basic human rights, and people who are poor would be more inclined to vote for them.
Okay.
That's really what it is, man. Why would someone who's undocumented automatically vote Democrat? You mean because they're likely to not have a lot of money and they're likely to vote for the party that addresses their basic human needs and doesn't allow billionaires to profit off their basic human rights? Republican shitty policies are the reason that this happens. It has nothing to do with really with the fact that they're undocumented.
Right, but also you also have to account for, like, I understand that point too. I mean, that's a very valid point, but also kind of like a side point to that is, like, you take people that are very uneducated about how politics in this country work, and they come here and they get all these great things, and you know, it's not a terrible thing, but you know, there's millions of people that were born here that need these things, and there's also the fact that they're not as educated as your average American, per se, I guess would be a nice way of saying that, politically. So they come here, and who do they vote for? They're more likely to vote for the people who are responsible for getting them here, the people who welcomed them with open arms.
Well, that's not true. Republicans, Ronald Reagan granted amnesty to like 3 million people. So it absolutely happens it's not necessarily Democrats who do that. So no, it's not particular to Democrats, number one. But number two, somebody in the chat talked about that same thing. It said immigrants, where is it? They said something about, whatever, I can't find the comment now. They would be more likely to vote for the party. Yeah, that's because they're addressing their basic human rights. Right? They're addressing their basic human rights. And no, amnesty doesn't automatically grant citizenship.
Well, I mean,
whatever that comment was. Go ahead.
But democratic policy would also benefit would benefit my life. I just choose not to burden my neighbors.
What? What do you mean?
I just work
burden
harder
your neighbors?
And
addressing your basic human rights. I don't
draw welfare. I don't draw welfare. I don't use any type of government subsidies. I share housing, and you know, I budget. I have plenty. I know plenty of people. I went to school with these people. I've worked with some of these people. And some of these people are American citizens, and they burden the tax system. It's you know.
What do you mean they're all American citizens? Undocumented immigrants don't benefit from those programs.
I'm saying that these are the people that I'm talking about. The vast majority of them are American citizens. The people that are, you know, it's our own people that are draining the system. We don't need any more.
Wait. Hold on. Yeah, American citizens. They're not draining this. What system is being drained? I don't know what you're referring to.
Do you not believe that the undocumented immigrants, like,
they're not on?
I think it was. So what are they on? How are they surviving? Because there's plenty of them that
they work. They're literally going to work and paying taxes. Do you know that undocumented immigrants contribute $100 billion at a federal, state, and local level into our tax system?
Yes, I'm reading that statistic right now.
Oh, so I figured you were trying to Google shit. So you see $100 billion. They are not citizens of the country. They use an individual taxpayer identification number, and they do not benefit from those same federal programs. So what does that mean if they're paying into those federal programs but not benefiting from them? They're subsidizing them, right? So it's the exact opposite when it comes to undocumented immigrants. Over 75% of people here, undocumented, are working.
Okay. I don't disagree with you. I agree with the vast majority of them are working. I just don't agree with the vast majority of them are paying taxes, and I don't agree with the fact that the big percentage of them accept some sort of government subsidies, whether it's on at the state level or whatnot. But here's a statistic from Congress.gov. It says last year, FAIR report entitled "The Fiscal Burden of Illegal Immigration on United States Taxpayers." The study strives to illustrate the myriad ways of Americans pay for illegal immigration. Our estimate, which is a conservative one, I understand it's a conservative one, but it still is a huge number, is that Americans now pay $150.7 billion annually due to illegal immigration. This figure represents a net cost.
Can I just stop you?
In
so I don't
terms
have to
of
listen
gross
to this and listen.
expenditures.
Can I just stop you there?
Please, go ahead.
I debate this topic regularly,
Yeah.
and I'll debunk that study for you right now. Ready? Okay. Since you don't know
Sure.
the study and you're just Googling right now, you're not going to be aware of this, but the FAIR study has been thoroughly debunked already. I'm going to give you examples of what unfairly inflated the fiscal burden, starting with the fact that they counted kids as costs of undocumented immigrants without calculating future taxes. Let's go into why this is problematic. People born in the United States, they are American citizens, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so can you count kids born in the United States to costs of undocumented immigration without counting future taxes? If you're calculating costs, right? Which, by the way, in this case, it's like over 20 billion or something, but you exclude their lifetime tax contributions, does that unfairly inflate the fiscal burden? The answer is yes, dude. Okay, you can't count the cost of American-born citizens to undocumented immigrants, right? You can't say, "Oh, this is part of the makeup," which in this case they're calculating over $20 billion as the cost of undocumented immigrants without including their future tax contributions. Kids born in the United States end up becoming American tax-paying citizens, which means you need to calculate their contributions to offset the burden. You understand?
You calculate their future.
Of course, if you're calculating, this is such common sense. If you are calculating a fiscal burden, right, and you're using U.S. citizen kids as illegal costs, but ignore their future tax contributions to offset the burden, then you're unfairly inflating it. Okay.
I mean, it does.
You're double
counting. So it's an estimate.
So they're double counting drains and undercounting revenue. That's what they do. They also overstated the population. They undercounted taxes. I don't even believe they put them at 100 billion. Right? I don't even think that study has at 100 billion. And I know they really lowballed the sales tax. So there's a million. That study's been thoroughly debunked. And it's the only one they use. And it's been thoroughly debunked. By the way, can I just give you advice for debating in the future? You really shouldn't read stuff. Just because something's on congress.gov does not mean that it's right. Republicans use the FAIR study to try and counter Democrats' arguments on undocumented immigration. You need to actually read this study before you make such a determination. Okay? Look at the what are they just right now? Right. Look at what does it say for the tax contribution? We've already established you can't count U.S. citizen kids as illegal costs without counting future tax contributions. And you agree with that, right?
I'll agree with that. Yes.
Okay. So let's move on to the population. What did they say the population was?
Refresh my memory if you have it.
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me. What did they say the population was? You said you had it in front of you. I don't have. I've just debated this so many times, dude. I do this, guy. Listen to me. I do this every day. Every day. Of course, I'm going to know because this is what Republicans use to try and debunk my arguments regularly. So do politicians. So I'm asking you, you should have the population in front of you, correct? I know they undercounted it, but I want to make sure. Yeah, what's the I want to know what population they said. Let's look at the tax. Let's start with tax contributions. Because I know they didn't include property tax.
Okay.
They misapplied some payroll tax. And they lowballed sales tax. But I don't remember what they had the total contribution at. Do you not have it?
Okay, I'm going back and forth. I'm at budget.house.gov, and then I was using.
Okay, so you've never read this study. I can tell.
My man, I'm not very politically adverse. I'm just interested in having a conversation and being educated, man.
Okay, I'm going through the reason I'm asking is because I'm going through there is no credible study out there that debunks the idea that they contribute $100 billion at a federal, state, and local level. But they did a bunch of things in there, dude. That was one of the big ones, counting the kids, because that was billions of dollars they added to the fiscal burden. Billions of dollars.
Okay, you're right.
So they're tallying. So they're basically tallying
4 million kids.
Right. They're tallying. That's why it's unfair to cite education when we're talking about American-born children without considering tax contributions. You have to take into account tax contributions, or it's completely unfair. It makes no sense if you don't. It's not, that can't possibly, that only works if every single child of an undocumented immigrant who's an American citizen grows up and does not pay a single dollar in tax revenue. You understand?
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So there's other things they did too. I don't think it's worth going over since you didn't read it. But they exaggerate the costs of health care. They talk about all sorts of things that are just not necessarily. They just basically unfairly inflated the fiscal burden. So what specifically, when we're talking about the cost, okay, which is billions and billions of dollars. By the way, the cost of mass deportation exceeds contributions. You know that, right?
Say that again. You cut out on me.
The cost of mass deportation, right, exceeds the fiscal burden, right?
Oh, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Okay. So you have to give me some kind of.
But you do it once. But you do it once, and you maintain the border, and you theoretically wouldn't have to do it again. It wouldn't be like a year after year thing.
How do you think that I was able to predict? But how do you think I was able to predict that Donald Trump wouldn't be able to successfully conduct this operation, but it would still cost a shitload of money? Do you think it's because I have a crystal ball, or do you think it's very hard to deport? Mass deportation is very difficult. It typically more negatively affects the American the native population than it does undocumented immigrants. Look what they're doing, millions of dollars for what? What justifies doing that? Andy, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Laura, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you. Can you tell me, let's narrow this conversation down. What justifies spending billions of dollars to remove undocumented immigrants from the United States?
So, my point is you remove them once, and if you maintain the border, which is a lower cost than removing that amount of people, once you get them out, you don't have to repetitively pay that price unless they come back, which if you maintain the border and, don't open up the border or ignore a crisis at the border, it should maintain itself relatively well.
But how do you do that? You can't deport. What do you mean deport people at once? How do you do that?
Not necessarily all at once. I just mean in one go, over the course of 1 to 4 or 5 presidencies. I mean, it's not something that he's going to be able to do by himself. It's going to take, I mean, at this current rate, it's going to probably take 20 years.
But if they're a net
this
positive,
is ridiculous. I mean, it's a kind of complete letdown.
But if you're a net positive, you're still costing the American taxpayer money, because you're going to subtract their contributions, and you have to add in the cost of mass deportation, and that's all hurts the American taxpayer. You do understand they're a net positive. That's what we established through the FAIR study, that their burden is much smaller than their contributions. Remember?
You stated that earlier, yes.
Yeah, so they're a net positive. Yes. What justifies removing them? What are they doing that justifies their removal?
Honestly, I mean, as a majority, nothing.
There you go.
And there's obviously a small minority that's committing crimes and stuff like that, but that's not like
that's right.
Obvious. I mean, it's kind of old news, fake news that they're all criminals. I don't believe they're all criminals. Hey, I work with some of these guys, man. Some of these guys are some of the best people I've ever met in my life. But it's just
guys. Really quick for the chat.
They're getting paid under the table.
Really quick for the chat. I would really appreciate everybody hitting the share button. Share the live. I would really appreciate everybody contributing and hitting the share button and stuff like that.
Please do. That's how I found this video, man.
Well, I would appreciate everybody hitting the share button, hitting the thumbs up button, all of those things to help push the live out. This is kind of like why it's important, though, dude, to like accept information and move forward and not regurgitate it, because I'm sure you've heard these talking points from other Republican commentators, right? Like, and that's what's dangerous.
Are you a Republican commentator?
No, I'm a leftist political commentator. I'm not Republican.
Okay, I was just about to say, you said other Republicans. I was like, huh?
Yeah, Republicans spreading misinformation about undocumented immigrants and mass deportation. Not about, a leftist, a good political.
Whoa, who said I was spreading misinformation?
You were.
I just got on your talk show, man, and started asking questions.
No, but listen.
I just asked questions.
But wait. I asked you, you said the mass deportation is the reason you voted for Trump. Obviously, you believed there was a reason why that would be good. The whole time I've been asking you, why is that good? Now that you can't give me an answer, don't say, well, that's not what I believe. KeyCat, thank you. Caller claims know how government works. You debunk this point daily. Speaking of callers, daily, unfortunately. Nayland, thank you so much, Nayland. But that's the point, dude, right? Is like 90% of what you voted for Trump for is not true. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Is Donald Trump is famous for doing things. That's what Republicans are famous for, right? And it's really what fascists do generally.
What did I say at the beginning of the video, man?
That you voted for Trump, but you're not sure if you want to support him anymore.
What? Yeah, I said that a lot of the things that he said that he didn't necessarily demonstrate, or
then I asked you specifically, what is the one thing that makes you want to support Trump, right? What's keeping you from not supporting Trump anymore? And you said, well, I was on board with the mass deportation, but he's not doing a good enough job. You didn't say, now I've come to the conclusion he shouldn't be conducting mass deportation. You told me he's not doing it good enough. You want more people deported. So now I'm establishing for you that there is no justification for mass deportation. All it does is burden the American taxpayer, and the president has no real justified, legitimate cause. Happy Lily, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Appreciate you, Happy Lily.
I'm not saying you're wrong, man. But also my point is, like, at what point do you draw the line? What's the point of having a legal process if we're just gonna that defeats the purpose of having a legal process to come to the country if you just
that's
let
the same
everybody
argument.
slide.
That's the same argument I would apply to you when you decided to vote for a convicted felon. What's the point of having a legal process if you're going to say that he's not actually a convicted felon, like that last troglodyte, right, that I dunked on, right? What's the point of having a legal process if you're going to vote for the most powerful position in the world? You're going to put a felon in the most powerful position in our government, right? Same concept.
I get your point,
except
but
in this case, we're
is
talking.
is a felony legally prohibitive to become a president? Though, can you not have a felony and become a president?
No, that doesn't matter. What's your point? It doesn't matter whether or not we've never had one. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? No,
I'm not saying that it's necessarily a great idea, but
no, you know what is
it's
though.
also
You know
not
what
the
does.
law.
You know what is the law though. That if you, I don't have to use the felony.
What?
I can point out specific parts of the Constitution. That what's Section 3 of the 14th Amendment?
Say that again.
What is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment? What's it called?
I have no idea what the Section 3 of the 14th Amendment is.
The Insurrection Clause.
Please.
If you engage in insurrection, you're not allowed to be the president. You voted for him. You voted for him anyway. So, yeah, according to the Constitution, he's not supposed to be the president. I don't have to bring up the felony to say it's unconstitutional to vote for Trump. I would point to the Insurrection Clause. It is unconstitutional to vote for Trump, not because he's a felon. That's more an ethical issue. Why are you voting for a convicted felon? I'm simply pointing out. You said, why have a legal system if we're going to allow people with misdemeanors to exist without punishment or without deportation? What's the point of having a legal system? What's the point of going after people for committing fraud like Republicans are trying to do in Minnesota, right? When your president not only pardons fraudsters, but has been convicted of election fraud. See my point?
I see your point.
It's almost everything Republicans say is nonsense. All I would say for you, man, I think there's hope for you. I don't know if your parents are Republican. Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. Mom and dad, Trump supporters. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can do better, dude.
Yeah, whole family.
You can do better.
Yeah.
Be the black sheep. Be the guy
so
that.
What do you think the alternative is?
Right now, I would vote Democrat.
What is it?
I would vote Democrat right now if I was you. If you care at all about democracy, human rights, constitutional rights, if you care at all about, anything, if you care about the foundation of what makes the United States, I would absolutely vote Democrat. I don't 100% align with Democrats. They piss me off regularly. Okay, I'm farther left than they people like Chuck Schumer and those, like, again, they're better than Republicans, but I have real issues with Democrats like that. Okay, I am farther to the left than they are, but I encourage you to really just, I can tell you, dude, like, not for me personally, I never had the experience where, something popped in my mind and I went down a path. I never voted Republican. Sometimes I found myself in the middle of the political spectrum, independent. I've always agreed with libertarians on like open borders and individual liberty and rights and things like that. And then I found myself moving farther left, especially the last 4 years or so. But I've never gone from Republican to Democrat. But I can tell you that I have had friends that have, and I have talked to people and planted a seed where they ended up going down that path. Do you know how they did it? They just simply educated themselves. They became intellectually curious, and they started educating themselves on, hey, you know what? I've always believed this to be true. Donald Trump tells me this is true. The Republican Party tells me this is true. Let me actually research if this is true. You find things out you would never believe. We could go over 1 million topics right now. I don't care what it is. And I would prove, I would show you they're full of shit.
Where do you find your sources? Because, we Google the same questions but find different answers.
I don't have to Google answers, dude. I do this every single day. But do you mean where do I just generally research things?
Yes.
Yeah, it depends. It really depends on what the topic is. I know that AP is a good source, BBC is a good source, NPR is a good source, Reuters is a good source. Those are good sources of information, generally speaking. But it just entirely depends. Like, it depends on what we're talking about, right? I read studies. I make sure they're credible. I make sure I cross-reference. There's all sorts of things I do to come to the conclusion that I have, but ultimately, It has to start with a seed that's planted and understanding that you're being lied to, right? That's the first part you have to establish, right, is that you're being fooled. It is much easier to fool people than to convince them that they've been fooled. It's much more difficult to convince people you were tricked, you were lied to. Republicans don't care about you. They care about the billionaire class. They don't care about you at all. You're simping for the wealthy when you vote Republican. That's all you're doing. They could not care less about you. They make it seem like they do. Believe me, they tell a good story. They really do. They tell a good story. But it's not true. It's just not true.
Well, I mean, all very fair points, man. I just struggle to find credible sources that, like, I guess, like, I feel like a lot of people's problem, including mine, sometimes, like, I look for sources that, like, align with my the point that I'm trying to get across to somebody. So, I mean, I can admit that sometimes I do that, but I just find, what makes one source more credible than the other. I mean, obviously, you get on something like Fox fucking News, and they're going to be, I don't like watching Fox News. I don't like watching CNN just because they're both so biased against each other, and, they're news companies at the end of the day, not really research institutions or anything. So I get a lot of information from government resources, which probably
yeah, but you're talking about stuff that, like, the House has posted. You have to be able to verify claims in sources, right? So are these claims backed by raw data, right? Are there methods that replicate what they did, right? Are they fact checked, right? Are they peer reviewed, right? Academic studies vetted by experts, Republicans you remember, like, you want to make sure that whatever you're reading isn't trying to push a specific agenda. You know what I mean? And I mean, what specifically do you? So, for instance, like, well, you brought up FAIR. You know what I mean? You brought up the FAIR study. That's kind of an example of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the FAIR study.
Right. And I mean, I'm sure you've referenced it before. Have you ever actually looked at the data? Like, have you ever actually looked at the data? Because it's not backed by raw data. That's what would make that. That's what would be the issue with that study.
Okay. So there's a institution called Cato.org that has, like, FAIR's errors listed out numerically.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm guessing that this is, like, part of where you got some of your information at.
Well, I mean, it's not specifically, but yes, I'm sure they list out some of the things that I've said, because that's some of the things wrong with the study, but that not specifically, no.
Okay.
Like, there's a million.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just we would.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Nothing. I'm just saying. I mean, Cato's. I mean,
I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
My bad, dude. I was just gonna say, like, we just live in it sucks that we we live in a time where, like, we get two pieces of information that are completely contradictory of each other.
But you would know that if you had read the study.
I wasn't adding on to what we don't say.
I know, dude, but if you had read the study, I'm not trying to insult you or anything, but if you had read the study, right, and actually looked at the study, you can see it's not being, it's slanted. Okay? Like, it's very obvious that it's slanted. You go in knowing. That's why I said to cross-reference, right, and research what they're saying. They don't even. I don't even know what the contributions are, but not at $100 billion, right? It's very obvious if you're going to calculate the cost of American-born children to undocumented immigrants, you're going to calculate what their contributions are going to be. How can you possibly calculate the fiscal burden without calculating contributions to offset the burden? Wouldn't that be unfair? That would be like me saying, you live in my house, okay? You live in my house, okay? And I pay the bills and you work and contribute a certain amount of money to me every single month towards those bills. But I count the cost of you living in my house without considering your contribution to the bills. That doesn't make any sense. That's not fair, right? I'm unfairly inflating the burden. You understand? So it's obvious. You don't need a source to tell you that. That's very obvious. Right. If it's not in there, then clearly they're trying to unfairly inflate the burden. Republicans use it because it simply exceeds the tax contributions at $150 billion. That's why they love that number. You know? All right, man. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate you. I wish you the best, dude.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. It is a interesting experience. I appreciate you taking the call.
All right, buddy. Take care. To this guy in chat saying Trump is doing everything real Americans want, can you call in? This guy said the Republic of North America is flourishing. What a simpleton. Can you call in, please? Stevie K official. What are you talking about, bro? Yeah, I hope that dude. I wish the best for that dude. Yeah, Nick Shirley's in trouble. Guys, has every single person in here hit the subscribe button, and has every person in here hit the share button? I would appreciate
Lance.
it. Yeah, Lance. Are you the guy in chat?
No.
Oh, man. Hold on. How old are you, Lance?
29.
Call from
Jeffrey.
Are you the guy in the chat?
How's it going, buddy?
Oh, this isn't the same guy. All right, hold on one second. Lance?
Lance, yeah, I was just wondering about your thoughts on the Room 40 clause.
Lance, you need to wait until he's done. I'm just coming back to tell you to wait, okay? You'll be done with this guy in a second.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, go ahead, dude.
How's it going? What are we debating today? I see a lot of these things popping up asking if people still support Trump and whatnot.
With the last guest, we talked about the Epstein files. He asked, he was talking about how he's not really he doesn't really support Trump anymore because, well, I guess that other guy's gone. He doesn't really support Trump anymore because of that. But then we kind of went into some other issues with the FAIR study regarding immigration and its fiscal burden. Are you familiar?
Okay. With some of that, yeah. Yeah,
So I was essentially just debunking a study that he was using to justify mass deportation and the cost of mass deportation compared to their economic contributions.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I was really excited about this guy in the very beginning as well, and in the last, I don't know, eight or so months, I've been really disappointed, and I'm seeing like a completely different direction with this guy, a completely different attitude, something that I didn't expect. I kind of thought that there was the possibility of some powerful people, maybe backing this guy in the corner, but I kind of figured if there was any guy that was going to stand up to these people to the very end, I figured he might have, but I can see very clearly that he's caved in. And it's more about, like, let's make Israel great again and not America.
That's a big problem in our government, just generally speaking. But, yeah, he is definitely worse than anyone I've ever seen. Yeah, he's worse than
very
anyone.
Long time.
He's worse than anyone I've ever seen, though.
It's yeah, I agree. It's scary. It's really scary.
It really is.
I expect that out of
it's a major problem. Yeah, I am totally. I am done with Israel. I am totally opposed to what they're doing. So
those people have been extorting us for years.
It's a big problem.
I mean, decades.
It's a
They've been
big problem.
extorting
They just have tremendous amount of influence. It's very obvious. There's no, and they're not, and really, truthfully, like Israel's not even hiding it anymore. You know, they're just said, you know, they're not even hiding it anymore. I heard them talk somebody the other day talking about they need to limit the First Amendment because you know they're concerned with creators like myself being critical of Israel. It's just honestly, it's really a big fucking problem. It's a huge problem, and it needs to be addressed. But we have the most pro-Israel president in there right now.
It's terrifying, and I'm not a left-leaning guy. My partner at work, he is. He's very like Democrat and stuff. But oddly enough, we seem to really get along really well, and we talk about all this stuff, you know. And he's not much of a voter. His wife is, though, you know. So
I mean, like on this topic in particular, far left people are pretty, pretty anti-Israel, the Israeli connection. And I don't mind having an alliance, but it's far beyond an alliance. This is, I mean, they are so entrenched in our government. They are controlling members of Congress. I mean, we have members of Congress that won't say they would put America before Israel. I have a problem with that. I have a major fucking problem with that. In fact, we should start forcing them to answer that question like under oath, because I don't know what this idea that it's acceptable to support another country over the United States is bonkers to me. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
why did they have a dual citizenship?
Who?
There's so many of these Congress and senators. A lot of our politicians have dual citizenships.
Like I said,
I mean,
they kiss the wall. They do all of it. So
it's a humiliation ritual. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. It's just a loyalty thing, man. They want loyalty. Sure. I don't even care so much about. Huh?
When it comes to Trump, the guy was going against the grain with these people in the beginning, and I believe he was sincere. Way first campaign, I felt like he was really sincere. I'm a New Yorker. I've known this guy all my life. You know what I mean? I know who.
I've lived there myself, so I mean, I'm pretty familiar with him. I don't live there now, but I did.
I don't either. But I'm like just a few hours from there. I can go there on the weekend. It's close enough. But I've always known Donald Trump since I was a child.
Yeah,
I know the guy.
I'm familiar with him as well. But here's the thing.
So,
the point is, I don't think he was ever. I think Donald Trump is pro-power. In the beginning, he would say things like the United States government shouldn't have invaded Iraq. That was a huge mistake, and we need to stop engaging in policing the Middle East. It doesn't work. It only destabilizes the region. There's only limited reasons but he never stuck to any of that stuff. That was all bullshit. And now they're talking about bombing Israel again. I mean, bombing Iran again. That's entirely on behalf of Netanyahu and Israel, and I'm not saying that Iran should have a nuclear weapon, but this is just absurd bullshit. Like they're claiming that they're
problem.
Huh?
Either way, why is any of this stuff our problem? It's not.
Well, they would argue that if they have possession of a nuclear weapon, that number one, they would launch it at Israel, but potentially try and hurt us in the future if they ever gain such capabilities. That they say they chant death to the United States. But the point is, though, it's not only Iran that does that, right? Like, you just look around the globe. Russia, Putin regularly threatens the West with nuclear deployment capabilities. Why are you not concerned with that? Right? It has everything to do with Israel. Israel does not possess the bunker busters that are capable of destroying enrichment facilities, and that's why they need help from the United States. They don't have those military capabilities, and that's why Trump did that for them and claimed it's not to protect the United States, it's to protect Israel, and it is what it is, you know? So I just have no respect for what I had very little respect for, and I have no respect for Israel's government now. Nothing to do with the Israeli people, but their government specifically, after what they did in Palestine, I have no respect for them whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, they've basically moved into that place the same way that they did in Germany, and they've done nothing but cry and pretend to be victims. Let's just be honest. Them people handed their ass to them for a reason. You know what I mean? Obviously, it went a little too far.
What? Who did what?
In World War II. I mean, they basically subjugated their government, took over more than
Who are you
half the
talking about? I'm
government,
sorry, I
took
missed
over
what
the
you're
media,
talking about.
The Israeli front. They basically what they're doing in Palestine now
didn't go a little too
eventually
well.
done in
Listen,
Germany.
it didn't go a little too far. It went way too far. I mean, the Holocaust wasn't a little too far. Let's be super clear about that. And you're going to a weird place now. Your government, you're getting to the anti-Semitism part.
It didn't turn out the same. Germany was a much more capable country, and they decided to respond to something that was happening to them.
Bullshit.
And then
they
wildly
killed children. What are you talking about?
Right. But I understand that. But now Israel, they've planted their flag in Palestine, and they're creating their own state over there, except they don't have the same resistance that Germany gave to them, and they've progressed with their agenda far beyond what in Germany. You see what I'm saying? They're not getting their ass kicked over there in Palestine. They're doing the ass kicking.
Yeah,
but it's the same event.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Israel wasn't founded until 1948.
Right. They moved in there and took it over.
I'm saying they couldn't have ever invaded their homeland because they weren't there. They didn't exist.
Right.
Because here's the thing, man. All I would do is encourage you to steer clear of a conversation critical of the Israeli government into like being anti-Semitic, because that's not the same thing, right? The Israeli government's a big problem. This idea that Israel's owed everything, and this idea that they control our politicians, and I do think it's super dangerous and a big problem, and we need to. I would, if it was up to me, I would sever the relationship. But that's there's a difference between saying that and being anti-Semitic, right? Like, I'm anti-Zionist, but I'm not anti-Semitic. So, and it gives the anti-Zionist a bad name because then it like there's this crossover into anti-Semitism.
Not necessarily. I'm against the system taking conquest.
Yeah, but you're talking about people. You're talking about a population of.
They are. This has happened in every civilization since the dawn of time. It's called conquest. And that's all that they're doing is they're engaged in conquest and bringing up the anti-Semitism thing. I mean,
what you just said is anti-Semitic, dude. What you said about that stuff it went a little too far, man. The Holocaust, a little too far. It's the greatest geopolitical catastrophe of the last century.
Right.
I don't think that's a little too far, man.
Understands.
That's more than a little too far.
Well, what's happening in Palestine right now?
Yeah, I agree, but that's the Israeli government, not Jewish people.
Right. Where did it start?
What do you mean, where did it start? It's been going on forever.
Systems in there. Right. It's been going on forever. What happened in Germany happened in a short period of time.
What I'm saying is there are Jewish people. I know Jewish people that oppose what's happening right now. So they shouldn't be lumped into decisions made by the Israeli government. I agree what they're doing is disgusting. They are war criminals, but there is a big difference. Listen, I got to go to the next guest. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, you gotta not cross into the, that's the problem. Like, listen, I'll be honest with you guys. Israel the relationship there obviously is a problem, but it's not cool to be anti-Semitic, right? Like you got to not cross into that. We're talking about serious atrocities here. Can you guys see me? Shit, I don't know if I fucking lagged or something. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, you should be able to hear me now. Yeah, I mean, look, there's something to be said about, but it's not just, I want to be clear too. I want to be super clear to everyone in here. It's not just Israel. Okay? There's money. Money is the issue. There's a big issue with money in government. That is really ultimately what the problem is. Believe me, without money, that's not it.
Call from
Hold on.
What's going on? Are you a Trump supporter?
Sure am, brother.
Okay. Why are you still a Trump supporter after the release of the Epstein files there, Muppet?
Because the fake little freaking stuff of the Hawaii, those girls were adults, dude. Come on.
What?
Seen the real pictures,
That's not
bro.
the Epstein
The real pedophiles.
You can't say
the
that
real
word. You can't
pedophiles
say
is
that
Obama.
word. Excuse me.
Oh.
Say the word PDF. You cannot say. Don't say words like that.
Bruh.
Don't say words like that.
Feelings.
Dude, I'll hang. It's not my feelings. You fuck up my advertising.
Can't say that word.
PDF.
He's a fucking pedophile,
Guy,
bro.
it's. I have ads on
Fuck your
videos. Don't say
advertising.
the word.
Fucking
Shut
crying.
up. I'll just put you on mute. You see how easy it is? What do you think this is? The local bar, you hillbilly? What do you think this is? The local bar? That's what you called in to say? What do you think this is? The town watering hole? You think you're just going to come in and start yapping like you're at a corner seat at your local bar? God. It's like unbelievable. You want to call back in, don't say the word. It's not that hard to not say the word. You know what it really is? Guys like that are not intelligent enough to not use the word. Right? They have to say they have to say words like that because they can't they're not intelligent enough.
Call from
Ryan.
Ryan, are you a Trump supporter?
Nigger.
That doesn't do anything, Ryan. I'll just cut it out. Good try. Good try, Ryan. By the way, Ryan, calling unknown doesn't work through this VoIP, so now I have your number. I'm going to talk about it on TikTok tomorrow. I'm not going to do it on here. I'm going to do it on TikTok where they don't care. And I'm just going to paste it, and then everyone's going to have to change it. Good luck, Ryan. Best wishes, my friend. Best of luck, my friend. Best of luck. Thanks for calling in, though. I'm glad you did. Should I make a video on Ryan and post the information? Should I make a video, you guys think? What do you guys think? Should I make a video? I can make a video on Instagram. It'll get thousands of views. People will start calling places of employment. It gets really bad. And I think that's what we're going to do. I think that's what we're going to do. Oh, he's going to so regret that. He must be new here. Let me hand this over to my guy real quick. I want to make sure he gets this by tonight so we can do this tomorrow. Oh my God, this guy tried to *667 his number. Good luck, bro. Oh, man. Good luck, bro. Watch this, guys. I'm calling that other guy back. No, I was calling my friend for that other guy who said that on the live. Hello, this is AT&T. Are you there? Won't he answer?
Please leave your message for
What happened?
Please leave your message for
Bobby.
No, the Ryan guy there, he's working out right now. Man, don't do stuff like that, man. Call to debate. Don't do stuff like that. It's not cool, man. It's not cool. There's people that don't tolerate it. If you're a Trump supporter, call in 908-652-3703. Tell me why you still support Trump. Don't call in and say the N-word, though, because, I'm not a big fan of that. You know what I mean? That ain't cool. Don't ever use the N-word. Don't ever use the N-slur. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again. Because I don't tolerate that. I do not tolerate using the N-slur. Guys, they're literally, they cannot find a reason to still support Trump. Guys, we have 24 minutes left on the gifting goal. Please. Thank you. Would appreciate it. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and become a subscriber to the channel. We've had a lot of different news today. We had Russia is asking the United States, hey, can you please stop stealing? Well, they don't want them to capture this last vessel, right? So Russia has essentially asked the United States by filing a diplomatic request, can you please stop pursuing an oil tanker bound for Venezuela? Please leave it alone, right? We have that. A teenager was arrested for an alleged ISIS-inspired attack plot intended for New Year's Eve near Charlotte, which is kind of scary stuff. It appears that, and I've heard this lately, I read a whole article on this, that ISIS is actually trying to do this, some kind of, like they're training people to do some kind of attack here, which is really terrifying. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but obviously I'm really concerned because the FBI that's currently in there is not the brightest. Hopefully we don't have a circumstance where this incompetent FBI ends up causing something like that to happen. I'm really hoping that we just get through these next few years and it doesn't happen, because Kash Patel is pretty much incompetent.
Call from
Hawaiian.
Are you just going to keep calling, or are you going to talk now? You going to talk?
Keep calling. It's only the second time I called, brother.
All right. What did you say the first time?
What was that? The first time is when you got all offended because I said pedophile.
Yeah, you can't say that on here because that I'd say PDF. It's not that difficult of a request. Now, the document.
You know why? Because the people that are supporting you are the pedophiles.
Okay, cool. I haven't asked you one more time not to say
Clown,
it.
bro.
Okay?
You're a clown.
I'm going to ask you one more time not to say it. You think you're capable?
And I'm not educated.
So listen, let me explain something. You haven't read the Epstein files because you're talking about emails that were subpoenaed by the Oversight Committee. You're talking about emails that were...
yes,
you were talking about emails that were subpoenaed by the Oversight Committee.
So you're saying you went through or you just went through shit about Trump? That's what you did. What about
Hold
Obama?
on. Did you hear what I just said?
You talked about Clinton.
You talked about
the real best friends of Epstein.
Can I finish?
Which
you talked.
No, listen here, bro.
No, you'll listen.
Maxwell is actually the fucking mastermind.
Okay, cool.
Let me
Maxwell
finish.
You haven't read. Okay, can you tell me what's in the Lake Michigan document? Can you tell me?
Read about her father, bro.
Okay,
read about her father.
I know all about it. Okay, can you tell me what's in the Lake Michigan document?
No, I'm not going to go that far down with you.
He hasn't read it.
Right.
Guys, he hasn't read it.
I didn't read.
You haven't read the Epstein files.
50-something thousand documents.
You haven't read them.
I read some of it.
You haven't read them. Okay. Well, the point is you need to read these documents. They're
right. The Mockingbird.
Guys, by the way, they're literally on the live right now. You can actually read them yourself on my live. I have multiple documents right here for people to read that contradict the FBI's testimony, Kash Patel specifically, and talk about behavior Donald Trump's engaged in. Do you know the Department of Justice? Do you know the Department of Justice is currently violating federal law? Are you aware of that, yes or no?
You guys were giving $20,000 through EBT to illegal immigrants, and you want to talking about breaking the law?
$20,000.
Are you aware of that?
$20,000.
Yeah, in EBT.
Really, 20,000? How much are undocumented immigrants?
Yeah.
Wow, $20,000. Wow, that's crazy. Can you tell me really quick what do undocumented?
No, they're illegal aliens. That's what they are.
Undocumented immigrants don't collect federal benefits, you muppet. Can you tell me really quick what do undocumented immigrants contribute in tax revenue?
Bullshit.
Okay, can you tell me what federal
I call bullshit.
What federal benefit do undocumented immigrants receive?
EBT, brother. Welfare checks.
Okay,
that's why they don't work. That's why that one guy was making fun of all the Americans.
No, they don't. Undocumented immigrants do not directly.
Bro.
They don't. They don't.
Okay, so
can you look up a law really quick?
You're saying what I'm seeing, I'm not really seeing.
So I can tell you, right? First of all, they do not receive EBT benefits. Okay, they are not. They are ineligible. So why don't you look it up real quick? Are undocumented immigrants eligible for SNAP?
They get it right at the fucking door,
guy.
Bro. They get it right at the door.
That's how I know you're lying, because you don't get approved the same day. You just proved yourself wrong. You don't get approved the same day. How would they get it right at the door?
They got it right at the fucking door, bro.
He just debunked himself. How do they get it right at the door if they don't get if it's not same day approval?
Dude, you know they fucking was getting it. They could. That's why they were giving them freaking, what do you call that? Driver's license and all that other stuff, so they can do that fraud.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
I acknowledge the same thing about you, brother.
Okay, so why don't we all Google it simultaneously, guys? Do undocumented immigrants receive EBT?
How come Joe Biden molested his own daughter?
He didn't. His daughter said that wasn't true.
And she wrote it in a diary.
His daughter said that wasn't
Nobody's
true.
Talking about
his
that.
daughter said that wasn't true, but do you know what?
Bullshit.
Let me play something.
It is true.
Guys, let me play something really quick.
True.
Okay.
That's why they're looking for. That's why they're looking for.
Hold on. If it's true. If it's true.
51 years for prison for the person that stole it.
I'm going to play a clip right now, everybody. I want you to take a listen to this. I'm going to put this guy on hold. I'm going to play here's a clip. Here's a clip of Donald Trump. Here's a clip of Donald Trump talking about his daughters, everybody. Let's take a listen. It's not true. His daughter debunked it. That whole thing has been debunked. You're trying to deflect away from the Epstein files. Hold on. I'm playing for the chat Donald Trump talking about his daughter. Make sure you turn on the live stream so you can hear it, Muppet. Here we go, guys. Everyone take a listen really quick to this, and you guys tell me what you think about it.
Depend on what was inside the magazine. I don't think Ivanka would do that inside the magazine, although she does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird.
I've never been so grateful for an ellipsis in my life.
You know who's one of the great beauties of the world, according to everybody, and I helped create her?
Who?
Ivanka. My daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah.
She's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body. Yeah, she's hot.
This is him talking about his infant daughter right here.
She's got Marla's legs. We don't know whether or not she's got this part yet, but time will tell.
Everything they say is projection. There's Donald Trump talking about his daughters. There's Donald Trump talking about his daughter, Tiffany and Ivanka. Stop projecting, okay? Stop your projecting.
Projecting what?
I have to hang up on you
Bro,
because
the
you
real
can't stop.
Obama is a crackhead pedophile himself.
You can't stop saying
Oh,
egregious
Michelle
things.
Obama's a man.
Listen, I bet you probably are. That's why you're projecting. Good luck with that. Stay away from
I
schools.
am a man.
Stay away from schools.
I have a penis.
Stay away from schools. Stop projecting onto Barack Obama. I know you Republicans are so jealous of Barack Obama, dude. They are so jealous of Barack Obama because Barack Obama was a successful black president, and that they cannot. Heavily critical of his drone program. Didn't like some of the things that he did. He was still a good president, a solid U.S. president, and they can't stand that.
Call from.
Cry more. There's nothing you can do. Cry more. Okay? Hello?
Seriously?
No, you're somebody else. What's going on? I was talking to the other guy. Are you a Trump supporter?
No. My friend's being a dick. Sorry.
What? Oh, it's that guy again. I don't know. I can keep track of the number. Your friend called me as a joke? Well, listen, why don't you call me back and tell me a little bit about your friend? Because if that's your friend, you need to find a new friend group if you're listening. I know you're listening right now and he's sitting next to you giggling. Ma'am, I don't know anything about you, but you need to find a better friend. That would be my recommendation to you. Take it or leave it. I'm not, hey, listen. I'm giving my friendly advice. Some people call me somewhat of a friendship therapist, I'm somewhat of I bring friends together. I've been known to connect people. Through my content, I've brought a lot of people together who are now friends, right? This just my content brings people together, right? It always has. So I know a lot about friendships. He's not. You can do better. I highly recommend it. Best of luck. If you are a Trump supporter and you still support Trump for some weird reason, call in now and tell me why. I bet you won't, because I bet you can't give me one good reason to still support Donnie. Kenya. Guys, we literally have 13 minutes left on the gifting goal and we're not going to complete it. We're going to hit 2 hours, and we have 13 minutes left on the gifting goal, and we're not going to complete it. If you could find it to support the gifting goal, it helps keep the content going. Would appreciate contributing to the gifting goal. You can also contribute in the link tree in my bio. Would appreciate it. Would appreciate it. Or maybe, should I just pop off for I don't know. I'm going to put this in Discord again because, I need to stop I'm going to prohibit posting lives in there because I don't want discussions about creators in there. Thank you, Juliet. Appreciate you, Juliet.
Call from.
Lisa.
Lisa, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine, Lisa, on this Friday evening. Juliet Garza, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Happy Lily, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you both so much. Go ahead. Are you a Trump supporter, Lisa?
100%.
Okay. And Lisa, Lisa, is there a radio or TV going on in the background? We've got to turn that down. He's got a 320.
I'll turn you down then.
No, there's some kind of like TV or radio. Is that it?
No, that was you.
Oh, yeah, you got to
I
turn.
just turned 20.
Yeah, you got to turn my live off. He's batting .322 on the season. One of the best shortstops in the league. It is high, it is far, it is gone to deep right center. It's going to be a 422-foot home run. So why do you support Donald Trump, Lisa? Juan, thank you for being a Chadpole. Appreciate you. Go ahead.
Well, whether you guys really realize what he's actually doing for this country and overlooking what has been done to the country, I support him 100% in what he's doing.
Okay.
Like the immigration, I 100% support that. I support him going overseas and trying to make the tariffs so that we don't have we're not the bad people anymore. We're getting taken advantage of. I think that his cabinet is working to protect children with vaccines. He's done a lot for us, whether you want to admit it or not.
Oh my
He's done a
God!
lot.
Everything you just said is absolutely insane. Juan, thank you for being a tadpole, and Emily, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you. So first,
Can
of
I
all,
ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, why is it that the non-Trump people have a problem with the people that support Trump? We supported you guys when you brought in Biden, and I didn't support Biden. Matter of fact,
No, you didn't.
4 months into this, no, I didn't support Biden.
Right.
No way in hell.
And you were loud and obnoxious the entire 4 years. And I remember because I was commentating during that time. Oh, Emily's Blunt, thank you so much, Emily's Blunt. Appreciate you. I was talking to Trump supporters
4
every
months
day
into
during
his
that time.
presidency, I called adult protective on Biden.
Wait, what? Say that again?
4 months into his presidency, I called adult protective because I knew, working in the healthcare field, I knew he had dementia or some type of Alzheimer's going on. And I did it live.
So you called Biden. What do you mean live? Are you a live streamer?
I called Adult Protective Services in Washington, D.C. for Biden.
Okay, you're a live streamer?
I have done live. Yes, I have.
Birdie, thank you so much. Are you a creator I would be familiar with? How many followers do you have on TikTok or YouTube?
I don't do it on TikTok. I do it on the Face.
On Facebook. Okay.
And I gotta order
you're not a creator. You're not a creator. You just do it for your friends, you mean? Birdie, thank you for the Canadian $6.99. Take notes. Thank you for the $2. Are you a creator?
I don't do it.
I never heard of you. What's your name?
On the Face. On the Face, I am.
You're a creator
Not
on
on the
Facebook.
Tik.
How many followers do you have?
Over 5 grand.
Oh yeah. No, you're not a creator. Anyway, the point is, so you called Adult Protection Services on Biden and said what?
That he was going through either dementia or Alzheimer's and that they weren't getting him the health care that they needed.
Okay, and did they laugh in your face or did they wait till they hung up the phone? Did they laugh in your face or did they wait till they hung up the phone?
To be honest with you, I don't know what they did when I got off, but I was sincere when I called.
I'm sure they were laughing at you. Because did you go to school?
Fine.
Did you go to school to be a provider?
I work in the healthcare field, home care, yes. I work with elderly people. And I know the signs of dementia, and I know the signs of Alzheimer's.
Okay, can you tell me the symptoms of Alzheimer's, please? Emily's Blunt, thank you so much, Emily's Blunt.
Irrational thoughts and conversations, not able to remember, erratic behavior. And I saw it right from the very beginning.
Okay, well, I think you should learn how to pronounce it before you look at its symptoms, right? Alzheimer's is not the correct pronunciation, right? Alzheimer's.
Well, it is.
Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is the correct pronunciation. So can you tell me, since you said the symptoms are, well, don't say whatever. I mean, if you don't know how to pronounce it, right, then you probably don't know much about it, right? So forgetting things, right? So saying statements that are bizarre, right? Do you think if a president said that there were airports during the Revolutionary War, it's likely they have Alzheimer's?
Well, if you look at it,
that's something Biden did say, right? Like, I'm actually giving your argument some credibility. Biden did one time say there were airports during the Revolutionary War. Do you think that's kind of like what you're talking about?
Well, if you think about it, it's not the airports that we actually think of right now. I mean, the report
is that there were no airports during the Revolutionary War. So if someone says there's airports during the Revolutionary War, is that like an example you're talking about?
Well, yeah, and that he actually
right.
What was it? Jim Crow. He had conversations with Jim Crow. He wasn't even stuff like that.
But I mean, like, truthfully, like that, you might be right though, because when Biden said there were airports during the Revolutionary War, I was actually at that moment like, I think he might have Alzheimer's. I was like, should he be in office?
And I literally called because I was concerned for the man.
Right.
I didn't like him, but I was concerned for him.
Agreed. I mean, I was like, dude, how could you say there are airports during the Revolutionary War? You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? You have to be, something's got to be wrong. Maybe it wasn't Alzheimer's, but something was wrong. Like, could you believe that he said that? I mean, it's insane. I have some bad news for you, though.
And what's that?
It was actually Trump who said there were airports during the Revolutionary War.
Well, I don't know who said it because I didn't hear it. But
well, wait a second. You agreed with me that would be an example of
I did not. I did not agree with you. What I said.
You absolutely did. What are you talking about? Now you're backtracking.
I know what I said. It's how you think about it.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's not airports like we know it.
Is it possible that Donald Trump has Alzheimer's since he said there were airports during the Revolutionary War?
Well, it's all how you think about it. Just like I said when you were talking, it was Biden.
I'm asking you a question. Is it possible that Donald Trump has Alzheimer's since he said there were airports during the Revolutionary War? You said it was possible because Biden said it. Why is it not possible because Trump said it? You need to now stand no. I'm going to ask you one more time. Hold on. Is it possible that wait till I'm done speaking. Is it possible that Donald Trump now has Alzheimer's because he said there were airports during the Revolutionary War?
Anything's possible.
Okay. So there we go. I think Trump has Alzheimer's, and you agreed. Listen,
I didn't say I agreed.
Are you going to call on? Wait, hold on. Hold on. Are you going to call? Hold on. You called on Biden. Are you going to call on Trump now and make sure you report this so they know?
No, because there's not a whole lot that Trump has done that Biden did at that point.
Actually, there is. Would you like me to play some of them?
Sure.
I could literally play you. All right, hold on. Let me pull it up for you, okay? I'm going to do you a favor. Here, you turn my stream on. I'm going to put you on hold. So, here, just hold on a second. I'm going to put my stream on and play it for you, okay? Let's play some things Donald Trump has said, right? You said he doesn't do this? Is that what you're basically saying? He doesn't do this? So, let's give you some examples, right?
I said anything's possible. They're, 80 years old? I'm not sure exactly how old, 70s, late 70s, 80s.
Special place
It's
in
possible.
the heart.
Listen. I understand what you're saying. Okay. But I think it's important that we listen and see if that's true, and then we make a determination, right? Don't you think that's a good idea? Do you agree?
Yeah, I put your thing back on, so I muted myself.
All right, let's take a listen.
Weren't captured, okay? I was down there, and I watch our
You
police.
turn on the live stream, okay? I'm going to put you on hold so it doesn't backtrack through, and then I'll bring you back up. Just stay on the line and listen to the live stream.
Okay.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I was down there, and I watch our police and our firemen down on 7-Eleven, down at the World Trade Center right after it came down. Look at what happened in the 1990s. Our embassies in Kenya and Tanzania, and this was a horrible period of time for us, were attacked. You know what uranium is, right? It's a thing called nuclear weapons and other things, like lots of things are done with uranium, including some bad things. And I will tell you, I left Texas, and I left Florida, and I left Louisiana, and I went to Puerto Rico, and I met with the president of the Virgin Islands. The latest act of resistance is the op-ed published in the failing New York Times by an anonymous, really an anonymous, gutless coward. The wall, the barrier, whatever you want to call it, it's okay with me. They can name it whatever they can name it, peaches. A few weeks ago, on January 23rd, Venezuela's National Assembly, they are risking their future, they are risking their lives, and Venezuela's future. You've really put a big investment in our country. We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple. I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation, the beginnings. In June of 1775, the Continental Congress created a unified army out of the revolutionary forces encamped around Boston and New York, and named after the great George Washington, Commander-in-Chief. Our army manned the air, it ran the ramparts, it took over the airports, it did everything it had to do. The kidney has a very special place in the heart. It's an incredible thing. In addition, up to 11,000 more.
I think she gets the hint. And listen, all of that, ma'am, Lisa, that was just from his first term. We could go through this term. He said a bunch of ridiculous things this term. But there's just an example right there. So, like, highlighting a president's gaffes, right? And, I mean, look, I can tell you, Donald Trump has had far worse gaffes. Calling Tim Cook, Tim Apple, saying 7-Eleven instead of 9/11. Ma'am, 7-Eleven is a fucking gas station. How do you confuse September 11th, right? The terrorist attack on our country.
Well,
one of the most important, one of the most significant days in American history, one of the most awful days in American history. And how do you confuse that with a fucking
I agree.
Why do you confuse that with a fucking gas station? So I think we've come to the conclusion here. Ma'am, you need to call on Donald Trump tomorrow. You need to call on Donald Trump tomorrow and make a complaint. I think he has Alzheimer's.
Well, maybe you should call.
No, I listen.
Maybe you can get farther than
I want you to call on behalf of me. I think you're better at it. They know you because you called about Biden.
I didn't get nowhere with Biden, so I'm not going to get nowhere with Trump, and I'll still support him.
You don't care if he has,
because he's done more for this country.
Yeah, you don't care.
Than most presidents.
So you don't care if he has dementia, then, right?
Well, I care if any president has dementia, because they shouldn't be in that seat if that's the case.
So then why would you still support him?
Because I support what he's doing.
So it doesn't matter then. Okay, got it. How many Trump hats do you own? I'm just curious. How many? Because you sound like you love.
I don't own it.
Do you think Trump loves you?
I don't own it.
Do you think Trump loves you?
Trump don't love me.
I'm just wondering, like, do you
Trump
think?
loves money.
Yeah, he doesn't care about you. That's what I'm trying to say. Why do you love him so much? I don't get it.
I don't love him. I love what he's doing for our country.
Ma'am, everything you said is nonsense. Absolute.
Well, maybe
ma'am,
you,
what do
maybe
you know
you.
about vaccination?
You don't want to. You're only
ma'am,
looking in.
What do you know about vaccination?
Oh, I know that it's caused a lot of problems in children.
No,
I have
hasn't.
3 children of my own.
No, it hasn't. You don't know what you're talking
children
about.
of my own, and I have 13. I have 11 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. Okay. And if I knew what I knew today about vaccinations, not one of my children or my grandchildren would have been vaccinated.
That's because you have no idea what you're talking about. That's because you have no idea what you're talking about. I'm assuming you're talking about the link RFK.
Even the CDC put out vaccination. Oh, now because somebody's bringing something up.
What do the vaccinations do? What do they do? Tell us.
They have caused autism in
No,
children.
they haven't, ma'am. There is no
Even
casual,
the
ma'am.
Even the CDC. Go on the CDC site, and that says they cannot prove that it has not caused autism. See, now we're bringing things out that you don't want to look at.
The CDC, right, has not claimed that. You're talking about a...
Go to their site.
Stop talking,
Go
please.
to their site.
Ma'am, stop talking, right? Stop talking. It has... Let me be clear, right? She hung up because she can't take the truth. You're talking about HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy, who coincidentally is not a doctor. By the way, she ran, guys, just so everybody knows. She ran because she's scared to hear the truth. There is no link between vaccines and autism. That is not an evidence-based claim. Okay? That is not an evidence-based claim. There's no evidence that supports that claim. In fact, we've seen over 20 large-scale studies show zero causal connection between vaccines, MMR, and autism. Multiple medical groups have discredited RFK, saying he is reckless and harmful, and those statements are politically driven. Okay? So pre-2025, before Robert F. Kennedy took over, the CDC explicitly stated vaccines do not cause autism, and that's supported by global data. Kennedy is a conspiracy theorist, right? He's a conspiracy theorist, and coincidentally, he's not a doctor. Surprise, surprise. Not another one. Thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat. Appreciate you. I love how these guys put their Muppets in there, and then they say, oh, my God, now the CDC says that. Glasses Babe, thank you so much, Glasses Babe. Happy New Year, Glasses Babe. Emily, thank you so much, Emily. And not another one. Thank you. Guys, do you know, it's funny they put their people in there. They put their people in there, and then they'll make statements like, we can't prove that it doesn't. You can't prove that it does. That's the statement you need to make. You can't prove that there's a link, a casual link. What's your first name?
Waterfall.
Okay, are you a Trump supporter?
No, I wouldn't call myself a Trump supporter. I'm more like, I support John F. Kennedy Jr., who I spent 24 hours with about 2 years ago, and he's a Trump supporter, and I support him.
You spent 2 hours with John F. Kennedy Jr. 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Ma'am, he's been dead since 1999.
Well, that's the narrative, but he's alive and well. He's a beautiful soul, and I thank him for working so hard for all of us, and he said, this is not work. I've been waiting my whole life for what's just about to happen. He's a very good man. And I think he'll unite the country when he comes forward, because he was both Democrat and Republican.
Ma'am, no, he wasn't a Republican. He was a Democrat. He was a staunch Democrat and was considering possibly. He was never a Republican. Ma'am, they found his body.
He's a Republican now.
Ma'am, they found his body. It's not up for debate. They identified his corpse in the plane that he
I
crashed
thought
with
you
his
were.
wife.
I thought you liked to debate people. I'm saying I spent time with him. He's definitely alive.
Spend
But
time
that's
with
okay
him.
if you don't.
Spend time with him where? Where'd you go?
I saw him in Anaheim at a hotel. I went to hear Russell J. Gould speak, and he happened to be there. And we all went to a hotel room. There's about 30 of us, and we hung out and talked all night long. It was absolutely fascinating. You know, there's so many incredible people behind the scenes doing everything they can to make this, you know, this world a good place. And I really appreciate what you do.
Guys, this is
debating
this
people
is
so that people
QAnon.
can share ideas.
This is QAnon shit, guys. This is this QAnon bullcrap. So did you go to Dealey Plaza to wait for his big return? Because you know they also claimed there was supposed to be a big return at Dealey Plaza where his dad died, but yet he never showed up coincidentally because he's dead. He died. They found his body. He's not alive. Whoever you hung out with was not JFK Jr., okay?
You sound like my ex-boyfriend.
Okay, well, no, that's probably why he's your ex. Did you tell him this too?
Yes.
Ma'am, he's dead. He died. They found his
Do you ever hear how, you know how Trump talks about central casting
Yeah.
all the time?
Oh my God, I'm so tired of this.
Well,
Q shit.
I would venture to say that Vance is just a placeholder, and that behind the scenes, the real vice president is John.
Really? Then why are they start? But first of all, this is so ridiculous because if they said he was going to come out to be the VP, why didn't that happen? Why do they keep delaying him revealing himself? Why do you Q people do this? Is this how you guys keep hope in like Trump? Is you have to add the president? Do you realize he was a Democrat? He didn't like Republicans. He would not be with you if he was alive. His dad would hate you.
I'm not a Q person. I've never been a Q person.
I know, that's what you all say. I
would say that with the coming civil unrest, when the country looks like we're at our, come to God moment, right? I think that's when John's going to come forward.
Wait, say that again?
Probably we have some civil unrest coming, right? All the young military men that are insurgents, once they become activated and we have massive civil unrest, when it looks like we've lost the country, I think that's when John's going to come forward when we're at our lowest to bring everyone some hope.
Okay. Well, you good luck with that. The person you hung out with was not John. And I don't know why you're calling him the name they called him when he was a kid, too. That's kind of weird. But anyway, you never hung out with him. He's dead. I hate to be the person who gives you a reality check, but he died in a plane crash with his wife and her friend, and he's no longer alive. Okay? He's not coming back.
Trump was.
Why would he?
Trump was asked
do you
to
really
run,
think he
right?
was?
Trump was asked to run. Who asked him? Trump's in operation. Right now, the quantum computer really makes all the decisions. Trump is just the face of it. You do know that, don't you? And who opposes Trump? Who opposes the Trump operation? We all know who it is. It's SES, Senior Executive Services, right? Are you familiar with SES?
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. What are you talking about? The quantum
computer?
My
God.
Hold on. Let me ask you. Hold on a second. What about the quantum computer? Let's start there.
Okay, well, warfare is not a bunch of generals making decisions. They use the quantum computer, and then they war game everything out hundreds, if not millions of times to see, what will work best and what the outcome will be.
So you know much about this then?
No.
Then why are you bringing it up?
Well, if you don't know about SES, Senior Executive Services, then you don't even know, the playing board. That's who Trump stands against.
Wait, what
it's
are you
ultimately either you stand.
Okay, what about it?
The thing is, sharing information is the most important thing. To share information with love, to share that with you and not biting my head off. And God bless you. And I'm going to hang up and have a beautiful night. And God bless you and your other listeners. You're a good man.
Listen, JFK is dead. JFK Jr. is dead. So is his dad. I want you to know that, okay?
Well, he gave me a hug. He gave me a 9-minute hug and prayed with me. And I'm telling you, he is very much alive. You weren't with him. How can you say that? You're
I
just
promise
guessing.
you he's not. I promise you he's not. Because they found his body. That's how I know. I know 100%.
Do you think they fake stuff like that?
Why would JFK Jr. suddenly be some excellent politician? You realize he was like running a magazine at the time. He was working on his magazine at the time. He wasn't even in elected politics. And why he wasn't best friends with Trump? Why you think he's been in hiding so he could come forward? And he left his family behind, his sister and his cousins and all these people who would be dying to see him so he could reveal himself to support Trump. Does that make any logical sense to you?
I think he was running for senator of New York, and then Hillary put a hit out on his life, so he had to go in hiding.
Oh, my God. You know what? Do you live alone?
Yes.
Oh. Good luck with that. All right? Best of luck, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
You too.
Holy shit, dude. Wow. Holy moly. You know what's sad, though? That's not the first time that I've heard that. That's about the 20th time. Do you guys know how many times people have told me that JFK Jr. is alive? And no, they're not. They're dead serious. There's multiple times that I've heard that now. I'm sure some of you guys have heard it. It used to happen a lot back in the day because about 3 or 4 years ago, because there was this whole thing during Trump's first term where Q convinced these people that JFK Jr. was going to walk out in Dealey Plaza and announce himself the next president alongside Trump or something. And she kept calling him John, which is what they called him when he was a kid. You know, she was standing on business. What she was saying makes no sense. If you like gibberish, if you fancy gibberish standing on business, then yes, she absolutely was. The quantum computer. They used the quantum computer. Holy shit. They used the quantum computer. Trump's just the face of it. Holy moly. Holy moly. Listen, guys, I can make a case for 90% of the people who talk to me needing a welfare check. If you have not subscribed yet, I would appreciate subscribing to the channel so you do not miss future live streams. Not another one. Thank you so much. And thank you to the people who contributed to the gifting goal. I really appreciate all of that. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you guys subscribe so you don't miss future live streams. Honestly, I'm surprised that this live didn't pop more today, but it is Friday night, so they typically don't. My best days are really Monday and Tuesday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are really my best days for YouTubing. So if you guys haven't subscribed yet, but another thing that's really important, guys, right? Not only subscribing, right, but becoming a member of the channel. See how these guys have green next to their name and different badges? By the way, guys, I'm about to upload custom badges. So you're not just going to have the star. You're going to actually have either the frog or whatever badge I come up with next to your name, which is pretty cool. Consider becoming a member of the channel. It helps support the content. I know people like the conversations on here and all the stuff that happens. I would appreciate becoming a member of the channel. Crazy stuff, man. Absolutely crazy stuff. I'm wondering if we should wrap it up here. I guess we will. We'll wrap it up here for today because we got to be back on tomorrow, and I got to be on TikTok in the morning. If you guys are not following me on TikTok, make sure you do. It's the same name, Adam Cray, but I actually don't go live on my main TikTok right now because the account was starting to get hot. So I go live on my backup account. The mods were on me a little bit on my main and really bothering me over there, restricting all my videos and doing all sorts of shit. So I've trying to let that account cool off, and I'm using a backup account now. It has about 30,000 followers or something. Follow that one. That's the one that I go live on. It's Adam.Cray. Adam period, a period, and then Cray. That's the one I've been going live on TikTok. So if you guys do want to watch me in the morning, if you're somebody who's strictly YouTube, you guys can catch me every single morning live on TikTok. Okay? It's usually the morning. I usually have my hair down and shit like that. You'll see me on there. All right, everybody? Appreciate you. Thank you for coming. Guys, consider becoming a member of the channel. I don't need to be live for you to become a member. It also gives you access to a bunch of subscriber-only live streams. So I would appreciate becoming a member, guys, if you haven't done that. You can do that when I'm off here. Thank you so much, Star City. Appreciate you. And thank you to all that contributed. I appreciate you guys. It really helps continuing the content. We're building something good over here. We have well over 300 people subscribed now. I think we're at like 321 people are subscribed now. About 321 people. So that's pretty good. 321 with badges. So let's keep doing that and try and get that number up to 500 and go from there, especially since there's not subscriptions anymore on TikTok. It's the super fan now, and less people do it. But I appreciate you guys. Take care. Have a wonderful night. I will see you tomorrow morning bright and early on TikTok. It's Saturday, but I will be doing TikTok, so I will see you guys there. I'm trying to grind as much content as I possibly can for you every single day. I'm getting tired now. I'm getting a little burnt out. I'm going to need a day off soon. So expect a day off to come soon, but I'm pretty active. So you definitely get enough content. Take care, everybody. Love you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Ivy.